Welcome back to Swish Happens. I'm Aiden.
I'm Dylan.
We've got our first game seven coming up of the 2026 NBA playoffs. Sixers Celtics.
Game
Is
7.
this has surprised me. The Sixers have surprised me.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I'm a little surprised, but then also before the playoffs started, what we talked about in the pod, how this Sixers team, in terms of their ceiling, was, well, the team one of the highest ceilings in the East for sure. And
Yeah,
I think we both were kind of the mindset of their ceiling is really high, but we don't think that they'll get there. They're getting there.
yeah. I mean, I Joel Embiid's first game back wasn't too hot, but he's officially kicked in.
Yeah,
And I mean that's when the Sixers team is at its best with Joel Embiid at his highest level. Are you worried for Boston?
very, very. So. I think the bummer of it all right now is the calf injury to Tatum,
Yes.
which is a huge bummer. It's one of those where it reminds me of last year. Not and of course not the severity of the injury, but I just wonder if the Sixers do end up winning this series, if people are going to look back and wrongfully think that it's because of the Tatum injury. Because even with Tatum, Sixers have been given it. I mean, there's been
Yeah.
some real key things that the Sixers are kind of locked in on. Namely just letting Derek White just shoot whatever he wants. He's shooting 30% from the field,
Yeah,
24%
terribly.
from three. And then another big thing is just a lot of ball pressure on Jaylen Brown. Real physical, making him either give the ball up or try to make a decision. And it's just interesting. I think this has been a thing for Jaylen Brown over the last couple years here. This showed up in the Heat series, and I think it was 23. And I think there's something to be desired there from like a ball handling creation perspective. And I think that some of that stuff showed in low key ways this year with his on off numbers, but then he was still called an MVP candidate because the numbers were good. I don't know. I just think that Nick Nurse is really putting on a masterclass in coaching, and then being able to keep this team afloat until Embiid came not just came back on the floor, but to your
Yeah.
point, lock back into it. So I don't know. I would be really worried about with Boston, but what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean the Celtics are still obviously shooting an insane amount of threes, still leading by I think they're leading by 6 3-point shots attempted in the playoffs. And I will say one thing, all of their losses, they are under 100 points. I mean game 2 they had 97, game 5 they had 97, and game 6 they have 93. And I don't know how much of it is the Sixers have a great defensive plan for them, and at the same time the Celtics are also shooting bad.
True. I mean, I think with the Sixers too, it feels like they're just getting the most out of everyone right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Namely a guy like Paul George. I mean, playoff P, and he's been kind of ridiculed for a long time
Yeah.
for some of the playoff stuff. So I mean, I'm not going to hold my breath that this is going to last. I'm not going to hold my breath that this is going to carry them through anywhere farther than Saturday. He like if he came out Saturday and shot 1 for 10 and they got blown out by 25, I don't really think anyone's going to be that surprised. With that being said, though, he's been given. I mean, I think he's shooting like 55% from three or something like that right now. I mean, like he has been
Yeah.
on fire, getting a lot out of Grimes. I think something interesting for me too is that VJ has felt it's felt like a natural step back offensively in a good way. To kind of make way for
Hmm.
Paul George starting to play better, Embiid coming back and dominating the rock a little bit more. So I think for not just the playoff picture now, but I think moving forward, the VJ specifically, I've been really trying to key in on. I think it's a really promising sign that he's been able to throughout the regular season be the guy on some nights, and now in the playoffs, kind of step back and be the fourth offensive threat and still give it defensively. So I've been really impressed with VJ this series.
Yeah, I mean game 6, yeah, the Sixers just their whole team. Like it's not just Maxey and Embiid or just one of them going off. I mean, game 6, Maxey has 30 points, 5 assists, 50%. Paul George 23 points, 5 threes.
Yeah,
Um and then Embiid, I mean, the efficiency wasn't amazing, but 19 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists. I mean, that's probably the biggest out of them all, the 8 assists.
yeah,
Um, and then VJ 14 points, 8 rebounds, and Kelly Oubre 14 points. I mean, they all really are just coming together. Um,
100%.
And then I mean, Boston, it is just crazy how like it's why they're so good because they can just hit you with a barrage from the 3-point range. I mean, game four, they have 128 total points with 24 made threes on 45% from the three. But then game six, they shoot 29% from the three and only score 93 points. And game four, that's with Peyton Pritchard having 32 points off the bench. And now with Tatum out, I mean, that's what you need. Jaylen Brown is going to be your main guy, but you're going to need Peyton Pritchard to go off. You're going to need Derek White to go off. You're going to need at least one of those guys to have a big output.
Yeah, 100%. Another guy I've been, kind of interested in how they've been using him is Vucevic. I feel like in the beginning of the series, he was getting a little more burn here. And now I feel like it's kind of fizzled out to like a 14, 15 minutes a game. And I think when he was brought in, I feel like it was kind of this big, oh, like the Celtics finally have this, great counterpart to Kata, and Kata's going to play, some great defensive minutes, and then Vucevic is going to come in and score the rock. And it hasn't really felt like that. So I wonder if with Tatum out, there's any sort of, maybe added responsibility there because I look at the Celtics bench. And I mean, outside of Pritchard, I mean, I don't really know where your offensive output is going to come from. I mean, if it's not Vucevic, then it's got to be Luka Garza. It's got to be, Ron Harper
Yeah.
Jr., like Jordan Walsh and Shireman are great players, but they're not offensive guys whatsoever. So yeah, I think to your point, I mean, the variance of the three pointers is just a little bit too much.
Yeah.
And like it's fine. It's fine if they're going in, but I mean, this is the result of that variance. I mean, sometimes they're not the ball's not going to go in the hoop, and now you're playing a game seven when you were supposed to be the favorite in the East.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy that Boston is plus 29 in the point differential in the series, but it's 3-3.
Crazy.
Um, yeah. But that is the thing with Vucevic. I just think it's he can't really handle Embiid. As much. I think that's why some of the minutes have dropped. But that is why the Sixers with a healthy Embiid are so dangerous because there are a handful of guys in the league that can be on par with Embiid defensively.
Yeah. No, but big time, big time. It just makes them just a really dangerous team. I mean, I don't really think there's almost any team in the league that could guard Embiid and Paul George and
Yeah,
Maxey all at the same time. I mean, we're not even talking about VJ or Grimes been playing really well. I mean, to have Embiid, who is just, we all know Joel Embiid's, 7'3", absolute Mack truck, can also put the ball on the floor and shoot. Paul George, when he's at his best offensively, is like 6'9" Kyrie. We've talked about this. And then
yeah,
Tyrese Maxey is a All-NBA player. I mean, I just think it's a tough ask for anyone, including the Celtics, to be able to handle that. I think um, if the Sixers went ahead and won this series, if you were the Celtics G, if you were Brad Stevens, what would be your first thought? I don't even need like a move or like we need to trade this player. What would be your first thought, going into the offseason?
Um, I think a play style change, not like overall, but I think if I was a GM and I said, "Wow, my team is way too reliant on hitting a three or not," I think that needs to change. I think you need some more energy. Like I don't even know what it is because I mean, I guess that's what the league is now. Like there's not really many role player guys that aren't like 3-and-D like specialists.
Yeah,
I mean, Kata's good, so like I wouldn't even. I was gonna say like maybe a solid big, but I think you have that in Kata.
agreed.
Um, maybe a true point guard, like a guy like I mean, they did it worked with Drew Holiday. A guy like Drew Holiday, I think. Because I mean, your point guards coming in are Derek White and Peyton Pritchard, which Derek White is really good, but obviously he's not hitting right now. I don't even know exactly what it would be, but I think some sort of change from the reliance of the 3-point line.
I think that's fair. Yeah, I mean, I think I would be thinking something kind of on the same lines where if you could somehow get another ball handler. I mean, whether it be a point guard or I mean, it'd probably be tough to find a ball handling wing that's not
Yeah.
hundreds of millions of dollars. But I mean, I think just being able to get the ball out of Jalen Brown's hands a little bit more. I mean, maybe sliding someone down. Because first I was thinking, oh, like maybe they need a four because I mean they're going with Sam Hauser at the four, and but then I think if you can just get another ball handler, to your point, whether it be a Drew Holiday or something like that, Derek White can slide to the two. Brown and Tatum can play wing spots. You can take the ball out of their hands a little more. You can make them, a little more spot up shooters, slasher. Get them their ISOs and a little bit more. You can be a little more selective with your offense. But I think what realistically will probably happen, which I don't really agree with, I think they'll probably look at the season, say, wow, it's crazy Tatum even came back. Derek White just had the most ungodly, stretch of his life in the worst way shooting. Let's just
Yeah,
run it back. And I don't think they'd be necessarily wrong to say let's just run it back when everyone's healthy. But I would be curious to see a year from now if we're having the same exact conversation. They
yeah,
draw a good defensive team in the first round. They key in on Jalen Brown. Even if Derek White is shooting okay and they're shooting the three okay. I mean, I just don't. I just wonder if this is just going to happen again, unless they make a change. And I think the Jalen Brown stuff is troubling, not troubling where he should be moved or anything like that. But to your point, I think there's got to be a change in the play style, a change in the game planning, going into next year. Because I mean, even looking back, I mean, last year, but even before the Tatum injury, they were going to lose to the Knicks. They had that crazy collapse against the Celtics. And before that was the championship, which is great. But since then, it's been, pretty big upset collapse playoff losses for the Celtics team. And I
yeah.
don't think that's an indictment on any of the players, or I still think Joe Mazzulla is like a really, really, really great coach. But I do wonder if there's some room for some X's and O's adjustments.
Yeah, I actually, now that you said that, like, I think adding a four to the, I don't think it even has to be a starting four, but just a guy that you can come in and have different lineups. I feel like all of their lineups kind of work out the same way. It's still the same set of guys technically,
Sure.
that the defense has to game plan against. Like, I think having some variety to your lineups, could benefit them.
Yeah, big time, big time. And it's a bummer because I mean, like, I'm looking at their spot track right now, and I mean, Cade is on a team option. I'm sure they'll bring him back. But
Yeah,
you got, a guy like Jordan Walsh on a team option who, like, I like Jordan Walsh a lot, and I think he's actually like a border. He could be a borderline elite defensive player, but I think that's the kind of guy that you probably have to let go.
yeah,
I mean, the free agency class this year is not super top heavy, which I don't think works in the Celtics' favor. I think that the level of guy that they need is going to be, in a different year would be maybe a little bit have a little less competition. But I think now because it's pretty much all role players in this free agency class, I think that they're really going to have to kind of jockey for position and hope they can get someone on a bargain, beat out some other teams, because with the way that their other contracts are tied up, they're not going to be able to throw a ton of money at someone, So,
yeah,
I mean, and who knows? We're having this conversation now. In a month's time, the Boston Celtics could be staying in the NBA Finals.
yeah,
It's not like the sky is totally falling. I do think though, if I'm the Knicks, who we'll talk about in a second here, I'm looking. I've been watching this series closely, and I'm thinking, damn, like everyone's saying the Celtics are the favorite. Bet, you know.
yeah, yeah. That's so. Who do you think will end up taking the game seven?
Um. I'm gonna go with Boston. I'm gonna go with Boston just because this 3-point variance thing. I'm just a big believer in regression to the mean, and I think it's been pretty bad. And I think that they're just gonna have a game, even without Tatum. And I think similarly on the Sixers side, I mean, Embiid in the playoffs has been hit or miss in the past. I mean, I know there's been injury things, but I mean, even still, I think there's a reliability there that I'm left wanting a lot of the time. And same thing with Paul George. I
Yeah,
like Paul George a lot. I think he's been great. I think he's super entertaining to watch. I think he's a fantastic player. But I mean, I group him in with the Hardens and with the Embiids of like we've just seen many examples of these guys not being able to get it done. So I think
yeah,
just in terms of what we've seen in the past, and just strict numbers regression to the mean, I think, and it's in TD. I'm going to go Boston in seven.
yeah. I'm taking Boston too. If if the Sixers win, do you think they could beat the Knicks?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you know, because I think all the BS I just said about the Sixers, I'm gonna go the other way. I mean, it's like we talked about for the playoffs. I mean, this team can beat anyone in the East, and
Yeah,
to be frank, they have a shot to beat anyone in the league. I mean, again, it's I'm not saying it's likely. I'm not saying that it's probably gonna happen, but I think it can. I mean, I think if you line up, especially any of the teams in the East, especially if they knock Boston off. New York, Orlando, Detroit, Cleveland, Toronto. The Sixers ceiling is higher than any of these teams. I don't even think it's really that close. And I think we're seeing that now. We're seeing that now. When all these guys are playing well and all these guys are healthy, I don't think anyone can really compete personally.
yeah.
And
Well,
and, al- and also, if the Sixers win, I'm at a game next series for sure.
yeah.
I'm
I mean
100%.
that'll be a good
I'll,
series. That'll
I'll,
be a
I'll dig
good
into the
series.
funds, dude. I don't care. I want to see Sixers Knicks.
Yeah, that'll run you up some money.
All right, but
Um,
a perfect segue.
yeah,
Just
let's
Knicks
get
Hawks
into
now.
it. Get into it. I mean, the Knicks just absolutely destroyed the Hawks. This is the largest postseason win in Knicks history. The most points the Knicks have ever scored in a playoff game. They led 83 to 36 at halftime. I think that's the largest lead at halftime in a playoff game too. 47 points. It's just insane.
Yeah, I mean, this game, I mean, the score alone is surprising. I mean, while I think the Knicks were always going to win this series, I mean, a 50-point win, I don't think anyone really predicted that. But I
No.
mean, the Hawks, the Hawks put up a good fight. Both of their wins were by like a point. They had to make some pretty crazy comebacks. They had to rely on CJ McCollum, a guy that has been a perennial, a guy that's been on losing teams for the last couple years. I'm not saying he's a losing player, but I think that we've seen
Yeah.
that he's not he's not generally the guy that we saw at the beginning of the series all the time. And again,
Yeah.
that's fine. But yeah, I think the thing I'm really curious and I want to get your take on in this series is Jalen Johnson. I feel like did not rise to the occasion even in the wins like I expected him to.
No.
It's not like it's not like he was shooting like Derek White. I mean, he wasn't.
Yeah.
His efficiency was okay. I know he had. I think he averaged like 17, 18 points in this series. But I just feel like if he is the star that we hope, want, expect, people are talking about Team USA. Like people are really saying it's kind of he's arriving. I just wanted a little bit more. What was your Jalen Johnson thoughts after this series?
Yeah, I was surprised because when I said my X factor, I said it was Jalen Johnson
Yeah,
because I think my stat was like most of their wins, he has 20 points, 10 rebounds, all that. But he wasn't the guy for the Hawks, which was surprising because that's what he was. I mean, when they were on this crazy win streak, it was him or Alexander Walker. I mean,
yeah,
CJ kind of came out of nowhere.
yeah,
Um, but I don't know. I think it was an experience kind of thing for him. I feel like the Knicks' game plan was probably for him in the first couple of games, until they saw CJ come back
yeah.
into prime CJ McCollum. I don't think it worries me for him. I still think he showed a lot during the season. I think it would be very like wrong to just pick out this one series, and say, hey, he didn't look too good. Let's not put as much faith into him. I think he still looks like a great player. I think he has potential to be a great player. I don't think his ceiling is as high as like to be a one of the best in the league, but I think he'll be a star for the Hawks if they build around him.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, I think generally for this Hawks team, I'm coming out of this year feeling like $1 million. I mean, you get off
Yeah,
Trae Young. Alexander Walker was obviously better than everyone expected, most of a player.
yeah,
And I was kind of interested about this Kuminga thing. I think he's been like really good for them. I mean, as a two-way, just solid rotational guy. I think he just looked really great. We talked about it last week. Some like game-saving plays. Just numbers are eye-popping, but I feel like when you're watching the game, he just made a real impact. Like I really felt his presence, especially on the defensive end. I think his age kind of lines up with this Hawks. timeline a little bit too here. And I mean they have this Pelicans pick. I mean, in a perfect world, if Darren Peterson ends up on this team, I think everybody wins. I
I
think
mean,
that would be completing.
I honestly, the Hawks are in a great situation. I think, yes, Kuminga's a great player. I mean, I think everybody has known, like, he's just been a guy that's just been waiting to break out. Like,
Yeah,
whether it was the Warriors finally give him the chance or get rid of him. And I think this is now the only thing that might worry me. I don't know if he's like, I don't know if he would fit in a starting lineup with NAW at the two. It would be Kuminga and Jalen Johnson at the three and four. I think he would lack some like perimeter shooting
for sure,
um
for sure.
from from there. But I really don't think there's any wrong because yes, best case scenario, you get like a Darren Peterson up at the top, but I don't think you're obviously not interested in a I mean, you're not going to pass up on AJ, but if you get the first pick, you're going to take DP.
Yeah,
But I don't think you're interested in Caleb Wilson or Cam Boozer. But then if you fall anywhere between five and even 10, you have Darius Acuff, Mikal Brown Jr., Kingston Flemings, Keaton Wagler, Braden Burries, LeBaron Filan. Those are all one and twos, like combo guards, lead guards. I
yes.
mean, there's no wrong. There's really no wrong. It just depends on which one you like the best.
100%. Yeah. I mean, I think it'd be really interesting if, if they get the 2-3 pick, if Peterson goes one, I mean, if I'm them, I'm calling up, every
Yes,
team behind me.
for sure.
And because then they can come out of this draft with a guard and then whatever they can get on this trade back. So
I
yeah,
mean, yeah, trade back, grab the later pick and maybe a big, maybe a center, like a center that could fill in some minutes or whatever the team has.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I think they are in a great position.
100%. So for the Hawks, they got Kuminga on a $24 million club option, team option. Do you pick that up if you're the Hawks?
Um, I think you do. I think you do. And if you don't like how it looks during the season, I think you can trade him
Yeah, yeah.
and get value.
I think it's cheap. I mean, I think if he if this was a player option, I think he declines and hits the market because I think he thinks he can make
Yeah,
more, and I think he would make
for
more.
sure. For
So
sure.
it's a bargain deal. But okay, New York Knicks. Um, I'm still just kind of I'm not out on the Knicks. I mean, especially if Boston loses, then I think, in my opinion, that the Knicks are going to be the favorite in the East after that. I just don't like what I see out of this team. I think that um, the Brunson and Cat being your best players, but can't defend is a problem. I think that
Yeah.
there's like a reliance on OG Anunoby to like score the rock too much. Like I just, are you a believer in the Knicks?
Um, I I have not been a believer. I was very much in the beginning of the year.
Same.
I've not been, but you know what? I think I'm going to start it again.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
I'm just gonna put faith in them after the Celtics looked a little rocky. Um, I think I'm gonna start believing in the Knicks again. But there is one team in the East that I think I'm gonna pick to go to the finals.
Ooh, okay.
Um,
Okay.
and we'll get to them. I don't even
Um,
have the biggest reason to. I just think they might be a team that's gonna take some games, but that probably won't happen. Um, so I am a believer in the Knicks, but also, yes, their reliance on OG Anunoby, and their need for like one of them to have a good game of Mikal Bridges or like Josh Hart, and they don't. They are very inconsistent. Especially Mikal Bridges has been very inconsistent.
yeah,
But I did say their X factor was going to be OG Anunoby,
that's right. That's right.
and this series, he averaged 21 and a half points, 8.7 rebounds, 1.8 steals, and over 61% from the field goal range and 60% from the three-point range, which was insane. I mean, he had 29 points in game six on
Yeah.
11 for 14. McCow went 10 for 12. So that was just a game for the Knicks. I don't foresee that happening again, but hopefully they can stay up in that direction of their games because we've seen them pretty low.
Yeah.
But no, I think they could. I think they could beat the Celtics or the Sixers. It just depends on how they play.
Yeah, no, big time. It's just tough. Like after you get past, Brunson and then Anunoby and then Cat. I mean, all those guys are averaging just about 19 or more, and then you drop down to 10 points a game after that. So I
Yeah,
mean, and the math just doesn't work out. If those other guys aren't going to step up, like If you bring Anunoby down to 13, if you bring Brunson down to 20, or if you bring Cat down to 12, we've seen these guys, like anyone, just not have nights. But I mean, especially
Yeah.
with this team, we've seen some pretty crazy slumps. And it's just um the reliance on some of these guys to put the ball in the hoop. I think it's a little too contingent on guys that we've seen not play well. Bridges and Hart's not an offensive guy, and Clarkson comes in spot minutes, but he's unplayable on defense. Alvarado's not a scorer, so it's just like this rotation. I was like, you know, pretty high on earlier in the year, and I think we both were. I'm just I think when you look at other teams around the East, I think for the Knicks, they just have the most simple game planning against them. If you take Brunson
Yes.
or Cat out of the equation, then you're going to have a good shot to win the game. And I know it's easier said
Yeah.
than done. I mean, they're elite offensive players, but yeah, I don't know. I would be. Even I'm going to say this. Even though I think they'd be the favorite in the East if the Celtics were booted, I would be surprised if they made the finals, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. I know I said I want to put faith in them again, but I do they do not have the depth to win a championship.
Yeah.
Like I would be very surprised if they won a championship or even
Yeah.
made it.
Agree. Agree. Well, another team that's not going to win the championship this year is the Denver Nuggets, who were
Yes,
booted last night.
yes.
Uh,
That the Denver Nuggets out of the playoffs in round one, facing a team with no Anthony Edwards, no Dante DiVincenzo, no Io DeSamu, and who else was somebody else out, or was it just those three
I think
guys?
that was it for the
Yeah,
rotation guys, but
yeah,
that
just those three. But insane. I mean, Jaden McDaniels. Um, I don't know how much he's getting paid right now, but I'm sure it's a lot. But he is not just a role player. I mean, I've always been really high on Jaden McDaniels. I love his game, but I think he really showed that he could be a scorer. I mean,
yeah,
this whole year, he's been having games where he shoots amazing and he scores well. But this, like he showed, he was the number one for them almost.
yeah. I mean, and I thought he had a little too much dib on his chip in the beginning of the series when he called out Denver like that and said they're all terrible defenders. I mean, I'm not gonna say anything now,
Yeah,
like he
yeah.
had 32 and he booted them. So yeah, it's crazy. And then like Terrence Shannon comes in after playing 7 minutes and 14 minutes in the two games he played to getting big minutes and being one of their key offensive guys. Like this
Mhm.
game was just really fascinating to watch. I think it's hard to put it on one person, but Jamal Murray was absolutely garbage in this game.
4 for 17.
Minus 18 plus minus. Just he was just um either being boxed up or just couldn't put a good shots in,
Yeah.
the Aaron Gordon injury was huge. I think
Yes.
especially last night, it just felt like there was just a glaring hole on both ends of the floor. Christian Brown, I think he only shot 4 shots last night. Um, Cam Johnson finally had a game that we thought Cam Johnson could and should have in a loss where they're now, going to Cabo next week. It's just like this Nuggets team was so disappointing to me this playoffs because
Yeah.
I just really believed that they were, a stronger. I really thought that this Denver Nuggets team was like the number two team to the Thunder in terms of winning the championship. I really
So
thought
did
that they were like contenders, man.
so did I. I mean, I don't know. Like, was this the Timberwolves really figured them out? Did they get in their head, under their skin? Did the Nuggets just play bad? I mean, Denver led the league in scoring this year at 122. The T-Wolves had them down 15 total points per game. And then Denver also had the best three-point percentage in the regular season and dropped to the third worst in the playoffs.
Crazy. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that they didn't figure them out, but I think they created a massive advantage for themselves in the first couple games. I think that they did key in on a level of physicality that it knocked, Denver, I mean, and Jokic especially, kind of off his game. I think we got a generational Rudy Gobert series. Generational.
Yeah.
This is the
Yeah.
best I've ever seen that motherfucker play, and he has four DPOYs. Like
Yeah.
this was unbelievable. And then I think last night, I think last night is a perfect example of just variance in the NBA. Night to night, some guys are going to have it and some guys aren't. And then I think Denver, because of the fact that, in the first couple games, Minnesota had their number and it wasn't a variance thing, that they just had their number. I think
Yeah.
that they put themselves in a position where one bad night from Jamal Murray is your season. So I think Denver made the right adjustments, but with what they had in terms of, injuries and these role guys just not stepping up at the right times. Yeah, I think the Timberwolves did a great job getting out, getting ahead early.
Yeah. And overall, I mean, it's a bad exit for Denver.
Mhm.
Um, First round. I mean, the T-Wolves are a great team, but I think majority had Nuggets winning this series, obviously.
Yeah,
And then the Timberwolves get hurt too. I mean, you're down 3-1, but the Timberwolves are hurt. You should easily at least climb back. But I mean, what does this mean for Denver going into the offseason?
I don't know. I mean, Denver's a team that infamously does not like to really spend money like that. I mean, that was kind of a big part of the MPJ thing was to kind of get off the money. And I think I'm finally ready to admit that I was wrong about the MPJ trade, and it has not gone well. I know we talked about that. I mean, even after last night, I don't care. Like they should have kept MPJ, but I think the answer is they should spend money, but will they spend money? I don't know. I mean, this is the first time in what 5 or 6 years where I am not super confident in Denver going into next year. I mean, I'm looking at their contracts right now. I mean, everyone's coming back. I mean, there's a club option for Jalen Pickett who doesn't play. Everyone else is under contract. So, and I don't know if that's the greatest thing right now. I
Yeah.
mean, they're tied up with all these guys. Jokic has a player option after next year. Um, which I'd love to have that conversation quick. Um, if this happens again, or okay, I'll rephrase. Do you think Jokic will pick up that player option after next year?
Yeah, I don't think Jokic will leave the Denver Nuggets.
Hmm.
I
Okay.
think Jokic will be a guy to retire early.
Mm, interesting. He walks
That
away.
that would be the
Yeah.
thing I'd be worried about with Jokic. I don't think as the Denver Nuggets, I don't think I would have to be worried about him like shopping around like the market and seeing what's going on. I don't think he's a guy that cares that much. And also I think he's a guy that would rather have guys come to Denver, like bring it to Denver.
Hmm.
That I am kind of worried for the Nuggets, because I don't know what you can really do in
Yeah.
this situation. I mean, you're still a great team, but it's just like, do we have enough still?
Yeah, yeah, big time, big time. And then I mean, Brown's getting paid like $20 million a year, which is it's not terrible, but I mean, if he's not if he's gonna play like he did this series, then I think even 20 million feels like a little too much. You're relying on a step up from him. Need Peyton Watson to be healthy, need a step there. It's just you're just relying on your team. Just let's run it back and hope everyone stays healthy, and then the young guys get better. And that just doesn't feel like in a league where we have. The Thunder are obviously, dominant. We have the Spurs ascending. We have all these other young teams that are ascending. I don't think for any team in the league, not named Oklahoma City, that run it back is going to be your best move.
Yeah. And it's so tough when you're like in this situation in any professional sports league. Like if you're an aging team, like you're regressing and there's already better teams that are still getting better,
Yeah,
like younger teams. You're just in such a tough spot because you have a guy like Jokic. You can't just say, "Hey, let's start going young. Like let's start getting young guys," because I mean, obviously that'll turn away your star. So it is just such a weird time or decision making that you have to do,
yeah.
um, especially when you're tied down to all these contracts.
Not a ton of flexibility. And again, Denver, their ownership has never been the type to splash, to get over the aprons and let's push all our chips on the table. So.
Yeah.
it just makes me feel like they're not going to do anything in this offseason. You know,
I
the
agree.
history has said that that's the case. So I'm interested. I mean, if you have Jokic, I mean, with this roster, like they still should be a top three team in the West next year, or I'll even give them, they should be a non-play-in playoff team. They should
Yeah.
minimum be a top six seed, and that's fine. But I think that I would be interested to see in a year's time, if they do run this thing back and it's a similar result. I would be interested if the conversation start to change.
Yeah. If I'm them, my only move I would make is I would try to pair up Cam Johnson and Christian Brown and try to get a very good wing.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I mean, I think that'd be great. I mean, this is someone that can give you what you've been looking for from both of those guys, but just level it up and have it be one player. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I mean the contracts aren't bad either. I mean, Cam Johnson is on an expiring the next year, which I think really works in their favor. So that's 44 mil combined. I
Yeah,
mean, you could get a great player for $44 million, man.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting with Denver. I don't think Minnesota has any chance next round. I mean, I don't even know if
No,
Ant's
I
gonna play
mean,
next round.
yeah, I don't
And
know. Ant's I don't even I think he might be doubtful in the first couple of games, but I think
yeah,
he's just questionable in general to come back.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't, especially without Ant. Um I mean they good job for beating Denver, but
yeah.
I don't think they have a chance for beating the Spurs.
No, it's a bummer because I mean I think if with a healthy Ant, I think this could have been a really fun series. I
For
think that
sure.
like if in another dimension, if Ant's healthy and they go into the series, Ant goes absolutely nuclear and they bump the Spurs. I think that that does a lot for his resume. I think that does a lot for the organization's faith in this team. I think that. It's a bummer that we're probably going to miss out on that, and it just feels like this is just a collision course. Thunder Spurs. Now, I'm not discounting the Lakers or Rockets either, but it just
Yeah.
feels like Thunder Spurs is coming up.
I mean, a completely healthy Timberwolves team, I would not be surprised if they beat the Spurs. So like I could see it happening.
Yeah,
I would still favor the Spurs, but all it takes is a couple great games from Ant. Rudy Gobert had repeating the same kind of series.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I could see that happening, but they're not healthy. So
but they're not. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'll hold out a little bit of hope for Ant, but
yeah,
all right, I'm so interested to see who your team is that can make the finals in the East.
yeah.
Is
Do
it
we want to?
Orlando?
It's honestly, I love Orlando, but it's not Orlando. It is the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Really? Okay, make the case.
Yes.
I'm curious.
They're not playing great. I mean, Donovan Mitchell is might be having one of his worst playoff performances, but I think that'll change. They have depth, great depth.
Yep.
They have bigs that can match with anybody's bigs, I think. Even if it's Spurs, Cavs, if I'm the Cavs versus any other team, I like my chances besides maybe OKC with Chet, but I think Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, um, I like that a lot. James Harden, I don't know. He's not the playoff performer everybody says, but I think he's playing good. I think he's been good for the Cavs. Donovan Mitchell, like I said, he's been that guy. Trying to get to my Cavs Raptors notes here.
Yep.
I will say the Raptors are kind of making it look interesting for the Cavs. Because before the series, I probably had a better case for the Cavs, but the Raptors are kind of shaking them up a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I just think they also, with everybody in the East not performing, I just like the Cavs' chances.
That's
Their
fair.
roster. I like their roster versus most of the East's roster.
Yeah, it's fair. I'm loving the Raptors. So like I'm hoping they can force this seven. 'Cause I think the only thing with the Cavs that the Raptors are not exposing, but are kind of I feel like the Raptors sized up across the board against them. And aside from Shed, who was playing big minutes, and the Raptors have played your Murray Boyles a lot more, and have just like really been bringing size out there, which I think is interesting because I think. When you think Cavs and you think, size, they have Mobley and Allen. I feel like It's been a bold strat for the Raptors to kind of say, oh, hey, like here's a strength that you have. We're gonna come at you with that, tenfold. But it's worked.
Yes.
It's worked. I think the Scotty Barnes like emergence as a superstar is the catalyst for this. I mean he's averaging what like 20 plus like damn near triple
Hmm.
double, taking the hardest defensive matchup. Like we've seen him on Harden, we've seen him on Mitchell. And yeah, I just like this kind of brand of basketball that the Raptors have been playing. I love Murray Boyles. I think he is just like the prototypical wing that you want on your team. Switchable defender. He really has shown some scoring prowess in this series. And had a 20 ball or two. And they're doing this all while BI has been trash. Like
Yeah.
BI has been BI might not even play tonight, and that
Yeah.
might be a positive to be honest. He's been shooting terribly. He's averaging like 12 points in this series. And it hasn't really mattered. And
No.
I think that's kind of a positive for the Raptors, where even if BI doesn't play tonight, if you hit a game seven, anything could happen. I think that to your point, I think Cleveland should be favored in both of these last two games. The Harden's been turning the rock over a ton. The Raps have been turning them over a ton and pushing the pace. But I think if the Cavs can really just do their best to take care of the ball and play in the half court like they want to, they should put the Raptors away. I
Yeah.
think. I think it goes seven. I think the series has been so back and forth. I think that while Cleveland should be the better team, I think Toronto has been Toronto and has been a great match for them, and I think this goes seven.
Yeah, I mean, what we talked about before the series, what Toronto needs to do to make this a series, they have been doing. I mean, they have been creating chaos, and it's worked well. I had the numbers, I don't know where it went, of the turnover difference and the points off turnovers, but that is why they're winning games, and that's why they're taking leads and making games close, because their half court offensive rating is 90.9, which is not good. But
God,
they're just killing in transition and turnovers,
yeah, big time.
which is kind of what worries me for Cleveland. I mean, they're not a young team, especially with James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, your two lead guards. That shouldn't be something that's happening as often as it is.
True.
Um, but yeah, I mean, if the Raptors make it past this series and either of that Pistons or Magic series, whatever that outcome is, that series, that Raptors and whoever wins out of there will take the NBA back, I think like 30 years, maybe.
Yeah, dude. Insane, insane.
Yeah,
I would love to switch gears and talk about that series actually.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
so they are both the Magic and the Pistons are shooting the worst and the third worst field goal percentage in the entire playoffs.
yep.
They are both in the bottom half of 3-point shooting. It has been an absolute rock fight, physical 90s brand of basketball series. I've been absolutely loving it. What have you thought
I
of
love
this
it.
series?
I love it too. It is awesome to see because I don't know the last time we've seen something like this and when we will see something like it again of two teams just going at it like that defensively. But it's honestly, as much good it is, it's just as much bad by both of these teams.
Yeah, oh yeah, of course.
Like offensively, the Pistons have not been good. I mean, they were a defensive team, but I mean, they're just totally missing Jalen Duren in this series.
Oh my God,
Um,
awful.
yeah, the only reason they're winning games is Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham is single-handedly carrying these guys. I mean, they've had good performances from like Tobias or even Asar's had some good games, but Cade Cunningham is carrying this team. Obviously, I mean, game five was 45 points from Cade and 45 points from Paolo. Franz is out. Franz is out game six, and I think he might be out game seven too.
Brutal.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing with the Pistons is I was doing some Tobias Harris digging. He's averaging 20 points a game in this series, and his usage rate is 25%. The scoring is a 7-point uptick than it's been over the course of the year when he was averaging 13. Which that alone is like probably not what you want if you want to win a series. You know, the one seed is having Tobias
Yeah,
Harris, be your number two guy. The usage rate thing. He has the highest usage rate right now than he's ever had in his entire career. In his entire career, he's a 14, 15-year vet. He has never had a 25% usage rate. And now they're asking him to have the ball in his hands and shoot and score and have the most offensive responsibility he has ever had. And he's a vet and is probably their fourth or fifth best player. I mean, that's not a recipe for success. And I think that's not an indictment on the team, is an indictment on Jalen Duren. Duren has been awful. Like if you ask me, like if I never watched basketball my entire life and I watched this series, I would think Wendell Carter Jr. is five times better than Jalen Duren. Like
yeah,
on offense, on defense, on the glass, Jalen Duren has been totally outmatched. And I think this is at a terrible time for him because before the year started, they were having contract discussions, and pretty much both sides walked away from the table immediately because no one was near the number. And now
yeah.
this is only going to work against Jalen Duren. He had a great year. He might be an all defensive guy or an all NBA guy, excuse me. Probably deserves it too. He deserved that. He deserved his All Star nod. With that being said, this is troubling in this series. This
Bad.
is troubling.
I mean, honestly, that Tobias Harris thing, who else on their roster are you going to give the ball to, though? That is the problem. And I'm surprised I didn't look further into this Pistons team because it was really one slump away from disaster.
Yeah.
And that's what it is right now with Jalen Duren. I mean, in the Knicks last year in the Knicks series where they were fighting with the Knicks, Tobias Harris was having great games for them last year. But obviously, it's not something that you can have and win series with
Yeah.
Tobias Harris as your number two, basically.
With this Pistons team, it makes me wonder, like they could fit in one of two categories, in my opinion. So I feel like there are two categories of teams like this, where there's the one category where it's okay, we're just 1 year away. We're at the deadline. We know there's things that we could and should be fixing. We're gonna wait. We're gonna see what we got in the playoffs, and then we're gonna make a move. That's what the Thunder did. We see teams do this all the time. So that's the one group. And if that's the case, they make their move. They're still sitting at a top seed in the East next year. There's the other group that you do not want to be a part of, and that is the we had one really great year and with a flash in the pan team, and then we never made it back. I'm talking Memphis Grizzlies. I'm talking Light the Beam Kings. I'm talking Trey Young Hawks when they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
We do see this where these teams have one good year. And everyone's perspective on them changes, and everyone thinks that they're now here to stay, and then they never make it back. So, what do you think? Which bucket would you put them in right now?
Um, I would put them maybe probably more towards one. I think they're a regular season team right now.
Hmm.
Um, I think they will not have success in the playoffs unless they grab another guy that can take the ball out of Cade's hands, be a solid number two on the wing, whether it's like a two, three, or four, even. Um, I don't know what's wrong with Jalen Duren. I don't know, like, I don't think this is it's obviously not normal.
Yeah,
Um, but I think I like will it continue if they win this series into the next series? Like that's something you can't even tell. I don't know because they will be playing a Raptors, which is a big defensive team, or a Cavs, which has Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. So like it's not going to get any easier
true, true.
for him, or for the Pistons. But yeah, I wouldn't say. Obviously, you're worried. You're a one seed, about to lose to an eight seed. I think the Magic take this series.
Hmm.
Um,
I agree.
unless and that's not even the Magic. It's not even the Magic winning. It's the Pistons losing.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think that's fair. The more I look at this Pistons roster, the more I do get nervous that they're the flash in the pan team because as I'm looking more into it and just their roster and their depth and it feels like maybe they are more than one piece away. I like they are one giant piece that they needed one more scorer, ball handler, for sure. But I think they need more. I think they need more bench scoring. I think they need some more depth at the wing spot. So I would be maybe not worried, but I think I'd be really motivated if I'm that front office to get to work this offseason. And let's not wait till the deadline. Let's make some big moves. Let's, show our starcade that we're invested in winning and we believe that we are that close. Because I don't know. Again, I would just be nervous that this year was just a flash in the pan year. Because I mean, even on this pod, I mean, it took until probably January or February for at least me to be like, finally, I believe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I think
Yeah.
that I think people do forget that. I think everyone was kind of waiting for the shoe to drop for half the season, and it didn't. And they're the one seed now, but I do wonder. I wonder if this was just a flash in the pan thing. Really, long story short.
Yeah. I just had a brain fart.
You're all good. You're all good.
Yeah, whatever. It's just I think they are a good team. I think as long as they have Cade, they will be competitive.
True. True. MVP
Um,
guy, first for All NBA guy, like he's gonna be good
yeah,
for sure.
yeah. I think it's so crazy how in the NBA, like everything was up here for the Pistons. Like I don't think the Pistons had any worries. We're like, wow, our team is great. Yeah, we can still put some pieces in some places, but like we are good. To now, it's like we got to figure some things out about
Yeah.
this team.
Big time, big time. Yeah, and on Orlando's side, I mean, I think Orlando deserves some flowers. I think that this is the Orlando that we kind of expected at the beginning of the year, and I think that they're just kind of playing like that. Even without
Yeah,
Franz, Paolo, there was a lot of questions about Paolo over the course of this year, and I think they were all valid. I think they were all
yes,
valid. The
yes,
shooting stuff was not good. There was questions if he's an empty calorie scorer. That's not been the case this series. He stepped it up, playmaking, been pretty efficient. Really put the team on his back.
yeah,
I think that they're, Suggs is so. I think Jalen Suggs is very Derek White like. I
yeah.
really do believe he's very Derek White like. And he's been great. I mean, Bane has been worth these picks. I feel like I just think this Magic team. If I was a betting man, I think the Magic are actually my finals team right now. I like their depth. I like the way that they're playing. I think it's the Magic.
I
I got them running the table.
I like that. I've liked the Magic all year, and I was so sad to see them in the play-ins and was like, oh my God, they might lose the play-ins.
Looked like it was over.
Yeah, it did look like it was over. But I've always liked this Magic team. Um, I do think they still have some. Do they have some figuring out to do or no? Or is it just filling in role players now?
I
Or
think
is there still the question between Franz, Paolo, Bane, Suggs?
I think it's just Franz and Paolo. I think those two are the only ones where I need to see them both healthy, and then I need to see them. I need to see the whole team healthy, and I need to see them play a good team in a 7 game series. I think.
Yeah,
And I'm not saying the Pistons aren't good. I'm not trying to discount the Pistons, but I think that just from a matchup and a depth perspective, I just think that Orlando has just way more great players. Like I was listening to a pod the other day, and someone said if we were drafting players from each team. I think you would draft like 5 Magic players before you got to the Pistons' third best player.
yeah,
Magic just have a lot more talent. So yeah, I think that because I think Bane, Suggs, and then one of the wings definitely works. You just got to see, if you can play them both together. They're both not great shooters still. I know Franz, definitely had a little bit better of a year shooting, but I think there's a spacing thing there that just having Suggs doesn't solve. So I would be curious because I don't know how much like retooling you can do. Because a lot of the guys are kind of tied up contractually. So I think that those two would be the question. But I mean, right now, I think I'm feeling the best I have since before the year about the Magic, of course. So
yeah,
we'll see.
yeah. I think Magic Cavs will be a great series.
Agree. Agree.
Do you have the Magic beating the Pistons?
I have the Magic being the Pistons tonight, actually.
Yeah, I
I
think
think
so
I think the
too.
Magic close it out. It's in Orlando, even with no Franz. Like I just don't know. what the pivot is from Bickerstaff for Duran. Like I don't really know how to get more out of him. I mean, he's not a great offensive player, or he's not a creative offensive player, I should say. He's a non-shooter. I don't really know where you go. I mean,
Yeah.
and then with Asar, I mean, we didn't even talk about Asar. Asar cannot shoot at all, and it's allowed Suggs to play roamer, and just be a total disruptor in the paint. Like they do not respect Asar at all. When Duncan Robinson's on the floor, there's no when Duncan Robinson's off the floor, there's no other shooters. Herter has played like 10 minutes a game. I
Yeah.
think just the geometry of the Pistons is just like really calculable right now. I just think that they're one of the easier teams to figure out on the offensive end just because of the spacing.
Sure. Um, and that leaves us with one more series to talk about.
Rockets Lakers.
Rockets, Lakers, and
I
one of the more interesting series right now. 3-0. Houston's trying to become the first team to ever come back from 3-0. Teams up 3-0 are 160 to 0 all time. Houston's only the 16th team to force a game six, and only four teams have forced a game seven. Um, what do you think is going to happen here?
it's I've no numbers to support this. It does not make any sense if this series goes seven to me. It doesn't make sense. They don't have Kevin Durant. Um,
They've honestly looked better without Kevin Durant, though. I'm not gonna
they
lie.
have they have which is fair. Reeves is back for the Lakers.
Yeah.
I just I I've known numbers to bet. It just doesn't make, it would not make sense for the Rockets to go ahead and win. I've been
No.
Şengün has really stepped up. But I have not enjoyed watching a star less in a long time than I have watching Şengün. I think
Yeah.
he is very talented. I think he's a whiner. I think that he makes really tough shots because he doesn't have the ability to create easier shots for himself, if that makes sense. Like every
Hmm.
shot is a crazy physical bang in the post, floater, probably could be a foul. But then I got to watch him whine the entire game. He's a zero on the defensive end.
Yep.
Yeah, I think my answer is a little more biased than anything because like especially without Kevin Durant, I actually like don't enjoy watching like anyone on this team right now at all.
No.
I think the Lakers seal it tonight. I do.
I think so too. I don't think LeBron is going to be the guy to give up a 3-0
No,
series. And
no,
two, I think this Rockets team without KD is just as easy as the Pistons to game plan against.
sure, true.
Because now they really don't have, I mean, unless you have Jabari Smith having 22 points,
Yeah,
and Tari Eason 18, Şengün almost a triple double. I don't think all that's going to happen again. And Austin Reeves was terribly inefficient um last night, and that's only going to get better. Um, but the thing with Houston, what they're doing, they had they have a 39 to 24 turnover advantage
sure,
in the last two games in their last two wins, and 48 to 32 points off turnovers in the last two games. So
for
that's what's
sure.
kind of happening. And I think that's something that the Lakers can try to figure out and limit for this next game or two.
Yeah, big time, big time. No, I think you hit on something with the reliance on, especially no KD, the reliance on your Tari Easons and your Jabari Smiths. I mean, we talked about it a couple weeks ago at the beginning of the series. It's just those guys have come a long way as players, are definitely predominantly defensive guys, and I think that the offensive stuff has gotten a lot better. You cannot be relying on Jabari Smith. And Jabari Smith, like I think every three he takes is contested. I don't think I've ever seen him
Yeah.
take an open three in my entire life. It's just
Yeah.
super difficult shots. Like Tari Eason is like a north-south driver and an elite defender, and that's kind of it for his game, and that's fine. Um, the Amen Thompson thing, like I feel like I'm a broken record with it. Just really disappointed in his offensive development this year.
Hmm.
I think that there's still flashes of creativity when he does get downhill in the half court. Especially when he gets to like he has this like kind of herky jerky euro that he'll hit, like get up in the air, fake pass shot. He has like an interesting bag,
Yeah.
but it's not consistent enough or reliable enough. For production. So yeah, I think offensively this Rockets team, if they're not turning the Lakers over, I mean, I think to be honest, I think it could get kind of ugly tonight. I wouldn't be surprised if
Yeah,
it was like a 15-20 point win.
yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like the Lakers, they defended well enough to win that game
Yeah,
five.
yeah,
I mean, Houston only had 99 points. They won the paint. They won points in the paint. They won rebounds. They just shot 25.9% from three when otherwise they were shooting like above almost 40%, I think.
yeah.
Um, so I just think and without KD, I don't think they're better, but like their style, with their younger guys, like they're just fast, more athletic, more defense, and just kind of more chaos. But I don't think this Lakers team is a team that you're going to get with that in 4 games.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I'm hoping for a game seven because I mean, who doesn't want a game seven? But I would be a little surprised if any series outside of Raptors Cavs goes seven. Which is funny because I mean, there was six game sixes, and we're right now looking at obviously the one game seven. But again, I would be surprised if there was more than two total game sevens in this.
Yeah, I could honestly see all these games being closed out tonight.
Mhm.
Um, and if it does go game seven, I just cannot see LeBron be the one to give up a 3-0 lead. That would just be an insane stain on his career.
100%. 100%. Like it would have been better for them to just get swept. Like
Yeah,
and blow
for
a
real.
3-0. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think again, I hope I'm wrong. I hope that we do get a couple game sevens, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was a quiet Sunday because there's no games being played.
Yeah, for sure.
Damn. So, yes. So, I mean, the next time we talk, we'll be in round two actually.
Yeah, yeah. So the
Um,
way it's shaping up, um, say all the teams leading right now will be into the next round. It'll be Thunder, Lakers. We'll see. Thunder, Lakers, or Rockets. We have T-Wolves, Spurs, um, Cavs, Magic, maybe. Um, and then Knicks, Celtics, or Sixers. I mean, that top part of the Eastern bracket is probably the most unpredictable because I could see anything kind of happening.
yes,
As much as I favor the Magic or the Cavs to win, I could see the Pistons or Raptors pulling one out.
agree.
Um, but if I don't know, do you just leave it at that? We'll see what happens.
Yeah, yeah. Well, listen, we'll have a ton more next week after the dust settles.
Yeah, yeah.
Love it. All right,
All right.
you ready to random hooper?
Random hooper. Oh my gosh, let's see.
The last couple weeks I've been not prepared. Like I feel like I usually have one in the
Same,
chamber.
same. I feel like
Like,
I had somewhere I was thinking about it too, and I just
I'm random hooper. I'm gonna go with um, and now I'm just thinking of guys I already did. Let's see. Let's
what
see.
is
Let's
going
see.
on right now?
Yeah, I got a total blank. I'm gonna go with Simone Bilar, seven
Owen
six, like
Belar.
400 pound center.
I'm gonna go Patrick Patterson.
Patrick Patterson. I like that.
Patrick Patterson.
Yeah, yeah. He was the same draft class as John Wall, I believe, right? Yeah, I think he was that.
I don't know. I don't know exactly, but
I like that. I like that.
yeah, do it. All
Uh,
right. Well,
until round two, I guess, right?
yeah, we'll see you in the second round. Thank you guys for watching.
Switch happens.